Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we talk about the next Call of Duty game in the rundown.
Plus, we toy with some of the latest Star Wars collectibles.
And then we climb the Tower of Guns for a review of the new shooter. Also coming up, we take a look at the action-packed game Implosion, try to survive a terrifying asylum and Lost Within, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest and everything cool every single day. Now, I've never answered the Call of Duty, but I have answered the Call of the Rundown. Here we go. Call of Duty is getting some cybernetic enhancements. Activision and Treyarch have unveiled Call of Duty Black Ops 3. The story takes place 50 years in the future, about 10 years after the events of last year's Advanced Warfare, and focuses on how biotechnology and cybernetic enhancements have created a new breed of super soldier. Those cybernetic enhancements will open up all kinds of new gameplay possibilities, giving you the ability to move faster, jump higher, run along walls, and even punch robots. Other new features include a 4-player co-op mode that can be accessed anytime during the story campaign, and a new specialist system where players can pick from 9 unique characters and then level them up as you go. Black Ops 3 will deploy November 6th on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, so last-gen gamers will need to upgrade if they want to play. The next game in the Silent Hill franchise is already a corpse. Konami has announced that the highly anticipated Silent Hills is no longer in development. Rumors of the cancellation first surfaced when it came out that producer Hideo Kojima was splitting with Konami, and now the studio has officially confirmed the bad news. The game was announced last year with a unique playable teaser and was being produced by Kojima along with Pan's Labyrinth director Guillermo del Toro, and would have starred The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus. The cancellation is sure to come as a huge disappointment for fans, especially since players all over the world have already tried the playable teaser. This doesn't mean Konami is done with the Silent Hill series. It's one of their most recognizable properties, and they promise that they'll revisit it with another new game at some point in the future. A couple of huge franchise games in the rundown today. Here to help me talk about them is my pal Scott Jones.
You're a huge fan to talk about a huge game. Black Ops 3 for sure is a huge game.
Yeah, and does it look exciting to you? It looks like it's riffing on what we just played with Advanced Warfare.
I wasn't a huge fan of Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
I know you were. I don't want to hear about it. Blah blah blah.
Not just were. I still am. I love that game.
I was hoping it was over by now.
No.
But you know, Black Ops is always the more fun of the two brothers. You think of them as one brother who's serious and went to law school. Black Ops is the one that kind of lived as a hobo and kind of enjoyed himself, and he had some girlfriends and stuff.
He's trouble is what he is.
Well, he's fun. He's also a lot of fun. That brother's a lot of fun.
I just feel like we're already, utilizing some of the technology stuff that they showed off in Advanced Warfare again, and I felt like Black Ops 3 had an opportunity to kind of diverge and go in a totally different direction.
So redundant is what you're saying.
I feel like it may be a little redundant, and it also echoes a lot of what we're seeing in the new Deus Ex trailer too. With all the robotic arms and the sort of little mini drone things that you can do.
Well, you sound like me today.
Well, it sounds a little forced. I guess it's because
you play too much Advanced Warfare.
I love Advanced Warfare, and I likely will really enjoy this as well. It just feels like it's sort of just a follow-up of what I've just been playing.
This is one of those rare moments. I like it. Vic doesn't like it quite as much as I like it.
We'll see at E3. We'll see at E3. But one thing we won't see at E3 is Silent Hills, the Guillermo del Toro and Hideo Kojima collaboration starring Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that this is being dropped. Unbelievable that all of this drama is happening with Kojima Productions and the people involved.
You know what
there.
I want? And I think you're the man for this job. I want to see a documentary of what happened here, of how everything kind of got dismantled here, because you have two of the most powerful entertainment creators in the world, and they were trying to make something, and now they're not trying to make it any longer. And Silent Hill has kind of, through the years, especially the last few years, has fallen on hard times.
Yes.
And I'm a fan of the series. I love the original Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2 was a step in the right direction. Even 3 was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's all been kind of this sort of treading water.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait a long time before we see more Silent Hill, I think. But we don't have to wait long for more Star Wars. Here's Jose, fresh from Star Wars Celebration.
We are talking talking about all things Lego and Star Wars. A perfect fit. You guys have been working together for quite a long time now. What makes Star Wars and Lego such a great fit together?
It's 16 years now for Star Wars Lego, and everything that Star Wars has, Lego has. We just appeal to the same demographic, it seems.
What do you guys have planned? I mean, we have a new movie coming out this year. There's new video games coming out. Obviously, there's going to be some new Lego sets coming out. What do you have in store for the Lego Star Wars generation?
Yeah, there's a few sneak previews around the booth. Some of the ones of the cases, you'll see those hitting the stores in the next couple of months. We're building a large-scale Darth Vader. Mark and I, we're the master builders, but we need the help from all the kids to help build the 12-foot tall Darth Vader.
And it's not just the tiny little yellow figures that we're all used to seeing for Lego. You guys also have some pretty creative Star Wars figures back in these cases.
Yeah, we have our new buildable action figures. Really cool ones like General Grievous, Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker, and there'll be plenty more to come.
And so what made you guys want to try something different like this?
We've had a lot of success with our whole buildable action figures with the Bionicle line, the Hero Factory, things like that. And it just makes sense to try it out with Star Wars as well.
A lot of people out there have wanted to be a Stormtrooper, maybe even Darth Vader, but they can't figure out how to get the costume together. But luckily, Joe here at Anovos has the right answer for me. You guys are making some of the coolest Star Wars outfits out there. Tell me about the process of making these outfits happen.
Basically what happens is we acquire the license, and then Star Wars, and in this case Lucas Archives, graciously lends us assets to either photograph, borrow, or in this case, digitally scan and then later 3D print. Once you go from there, you go to casting, then molding, and ultimately gets to the consumer hands.
So tell me about your lineup of costumes. It's not just Stormtroopers you guys have here, right?
When it comes to Star Wars, we have a really deep line here, and it all started with Darth Vader. After that, we started doing Stormtroopers. We also have Snowtroopers that we put into pre-order, also AT-AT drivers, and recently we also did TIE Fighters as well. One of the main goals of Anovos has always been accessibility. So whether you're a hardcore customer or someone who's just very casual, we have multiple different price points. For instance, the Stormtrooper helmet, this one over here, the new Force Awakens, will be offered to you in two different formats. One is going to be a $200 helmet. The other is going to be an ultra collectible high-end costume helmet at $700 to $800. You can buy the outfit in a kit form, or you can buy the outfit in a complete body form. And the same thing goes for our soft costumes like Han Solo's jacket, Han Solo's complete ensemble. But the idea is everybody can have access to a piece of something when it comes to Star Wars.
Too short for a stormtrooper?
Huh? So if you've ever wanted to be a Stormtrooper, or maybe an AT-AT driver, or maybe even Darth Vader, Anovos.
Some cool looking outfits right there.
That's right, that's right. Coming up after the break, Vic and I review a game called Implosion.
Which I think has something to do with holding in your farts.
So gross. Back after this.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Yes, I know Scott and I are both wearing plaid. I swear we did not plan this.
But I do know that I probably spent more on my shirt than she spent on hers. Versus cheap.
Okay, I do keep the purse strings tight, and there's a game in the App Store right now that looks a little too rich for my blood.
Yeah, is this game worth all that dough? It's called Implosion, and Vic and I have the review.
I'm pretty sure my shirt was more expensive than yours, though.
A new game has come to the iPhone. It is called Implosion. Never lose hope. This is not 99 cents. It's not free-for-wear, or whatever people are calling it these days. This is a game you got to spend $10 for if you're in the United States. If you're in Canada, it is like $11 or $12. Why are they charging so much money for this video game, Victor Lucas?
Well, the development studio named Rayark is saying that this is a console quality experience, and so therefore they are putting it at a premium price point. And I have to say that I think they pretty much hit that boast.
Yeah,
I think this feels like a console game.
As soon as I loaded it up, I kind of can't believe how far iOS games have come in the last 5 years.
I know, it's pretty amazing. You can pack this around in your pocket and pull this out and feel like you're playing a PlayStation 2 game. It's not quite at the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One caliber that is always
For your phone, though, it is mind-blowing.
Yes, there is that caveat for sure. And it borrows from some pretty cool action experiences, a little God of War, a lot of Devil May Cry in terms of the combat systems and stuff in here. But it's all simplified a little bit. It's all top-down perspective. And it also borrows from one of my favorite franchises, a little Robotron, a little Smash TV, which I dig. You get some dual-stick shooting action. And then you've got huge boss fights, which are actually kind of fun. They can fill up the whole screen, and it's pretty damn cool.
I was in a very forgiving mood when this game first loaded up, and I listened to some of the voice acting, which is pretty good. The writing is pretty good.
This is everything.
You made good on your end, and so shall we.
Then I once again encountered the downfalls of the iOS device, which is the on-screen controls. These are great. These are much better than the dual stick kind of controls we used to have to suffer with 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But still, I have such a hard time playing a game that aspires to be an action game in the same vein as Devil May Cry without those fine-tuned controls. Here, you're just kind of mashing away at the screen. Most of the time it does what you want it to do. Sometimes it doesn't, and then you blame the phone for not doing what you want it to do. But I just still feel like we're not quite there. We can't quite have these kinds of experiences on our phones yet. And the controls, I think, until we move a little bit more away from the touchscreen controls, we're never going to have that kind of experience with this device.
Well, I did play this with an M5 controller. It has that compatibility, so it does feel like a much closer approximation to playing a console game when you do that.
What are you going to give Implosion? Never lose hope. Have you lost hope?
I have not lost hope. It's an 8.5 for me.
It gets a 6. Another game that's new and mad expensive in the App Store is called Lost Within.
Did you say mad expensive? I don't think I've ever heard you use that word like that before.
I'm trying to be young and hip, just like you.
You're going to need a lot more work there, Jones.
Listen, Vic, hit the showers. My young friend and I are going to do this mad review.
Mad review, sick.
Sick. We have a new game for our touchscreen devices. This is called Lost Within. This is a game that's published by Amazon. They started a new game development division. This is the first title I've seen. I'm not sure it's the first title for Amazon. It's expensive. And I know some people who work in the industry who are either working there or thought about working there. So it's kind of exciting to finally play this. I wanted to see what Amazon was capable of, and this is what they're capable of.
We are in an asylum that's been abandoned. Okay, we've seen that before. There's a creature that's running about.
Is there an old wheelchair?
Is there an old wheelchair?
Yeah,
there is.
Wheelchairs.
There is
All
old
these
wheelchair.
games. There's so many old wheelchairs in games. We've seen them before in movies and video games. I'm calling for a ban on old wheelchairs going forward. That's it. No more.
I am calling for a ban on abandoned asylums.
That's right. That's another good one.
Because it's too much, and it's usually a character that shouldn't be in there, of course, and this is character, this cop that's in there. He's radioing to dispatch, saying that he needs to do this and that, even though he shouldn't be in there at all. Why are you in there, bro? Just get out.
You're right. This is the dumbest character that I've encountered, especially a guy who's supposedly in charge of the story.
Yeah.
He's walking around this asylum, and he keeps saying the stupidest thing, and
What hit me?
he sees horrible things, and he keeps saying, well, I guess I should go find this kid now. And his tone of voice is wrong.
What was Primrose up to in here?
The things he's saying are wrong. His objectives are wrong. None of it feels right. So there is this disconnect, this pretty grand disconnect right at the start of the game, because you're the one, as the player, who is walking around in this guy's shoes. This is a first-person perspective experience.
Yeah, it's tough to get into it because we have different chapters here, and they're all broken up into bigger chapters. So we have a prelude off the top. There's 3 chapters in that prelude, and it takes so long to just wrap your head around even trying to fall in love with this character, because you don't at all.
Did you try?
I did try, because I want to know and understand why this guy's even in here. He's looking for a kid, so I can empathize with that. He's trying to save this kid from the inside of this asylum who's running around looking for another person who you never see.
It's hard to know what's real and what's not real. It's sometimes with these games, because of the experiences we've had with Silent Hill and the Resident Evil series over the years, sometimes you feel like, well, is this character insane? Is he mad too? Is he just a patient in this asylum? Because sometimes the world, over the course of the game, as you learn more about the story, which really does feel a lot like white noise, the world changes and regresses and becomes normalized again. And so you'll have these parts where you're seeing things before the asylum turned all decrepit, and then you go right back to decrepit again. I just wish it just was more cohesive as a package. You know, the game looks amazing, and that's really a credit to what the Amazon development team can do at this point. I just wish they had some real personality, something.
Yeah, you need something in there, and it's just not there, unfortunately. I'm not going back to this game at all. I do applaud the development
The kid's
team.
not going to find himself.
No, the
You've
kid's
got to
not-
go back.
No, I'm not going to rescue him because he shouldn't even be in there in the first place. He's running around through vents. Why would you do that,
I know,
kid? Just
kid.
go home. Go to your family.
Listen to your dad.
What are you scoring Lost Within?
I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. What about you?
This is a 6er.
Oh, wow. There you go. Boom and boom. If you want to spend $8, $9, or $10, then have at it.
After the break, Vic and I have got Tower of Guns. We'll explain after this.
Your journey is far from over.
Welcome back to EP Daily. There are a ton of bad named games out there. So bad, in fact, they're easy to scroll through while you're searching for a downloadable gaming title. Vic and I took a gamble on a bad named downloadable game in the Xbox Live Arcade. Was it worth it? Here's Tower of Guns.
From the, hey, that's a pretty good idea, why hasn't anybody done that before department, we've got a game called Tower of Guns, which sounds generic as hell, but it's actually emerging between a roguelike and a first-person shooter. And I had a lot of fun with this game. What do you think
Did
of
you?
it? Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear all the positives, and I want to hear all your
Okay,
positives,
all right.
because I did jump into this thing not thinking about any of that, not thinking about the fact that a first-person roguelike has never been made before, which is really interesting. But jumping into this,
You
feeling
got your
all
ass
alone,
kicked and you felt terrible that it was...
Yes, feeling all alone, getting my ass handed to me, and then just running around this circular room waiting for something to happen forever.
I know.
Forever, Vic.
It takes a long time before you beat that first boss and you feel a sense of accomplishment. But what is right about this game, and I believe it was built by one person?
One guy made this.
Incredible.
One guy made this.
Is that sense of progression and that sense of accomplishment that is the best part of playing through roguelikes is very well represented here. And that also, that ability to transform the experience and make it a random kind of thing every time you walk through a door is very refreshing in this kind of shooter stuff. Now, the mechanics aren't perfect. It's a little twitchy. You can adjust everything, but you'll find yourself running off of ramps and missing jumps and stuff. But it's also loaded with really cool power-ups and lots of cool weapons. I mean, this game is called Tower of Guns, so you've got to have some pretty interesting guns.
Yeah, there are really interesting guns. That's
Yes.
true. And you can collect them by getting to a certain stage or unlocking certain things, which is lovely. I do like that feeling of progression. It's just getting there. That's the problem. Also, I felt like the world around me wasn't real enough. I'm not sure how else to explain this, but I felt too low to the ground.
Yes.
I felt like the world was closing in on me a little bit too much, and I don't know if that was the intent of the developer.
Well, it's not really a story thing. I mean, it's more about robots and just mechanized kind of weaponry that's all shooting at you, and then every once in a while you get these enormous bosses with cannons all around them that might be spinning down with a drill.
And they hit you so hard.
Yes.
These things shooting these slicing pizzas at me from far away, coming at me so quickly. And I loved the 3D aspect of this. I love how these slicing pizzas are coming at me so quick and so furiously.
And it kind of blends in a little of that Portal type of element in there as well. So you'll run into things like these big Jello cubes that will slow down bullets as you jump through them, or you'll find these arrow cubes that you can jump into and propel yourself. And then you'll find power-ups that will give you twice the height level on your jumps, or give you a little more health. And then you can also, there is a little bit of in-game commerce that happens as well. You'll find these little vending machines with cool power-ups and weaponry and stuff like that along the way. There's some comedic bits in terms of these little pop-up heads and this cutesy kind of art style. It almost looks like something out of Mad Magazine, some of the art in this game.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's a little devoid of real personality. It doesn't feel like Borderlands, for example.
No, not at all. There seems to be really no personality at all in this. I didn't feel it playing it, and I really want something like that to keep me coming back for more.
Right.
And there wasn't enough of that here. There is, however, enough of a game for people that love the idea of playing a roguelike, but first-person shooter style. I mean, that's really cool.
It is, just like any good roguelike, about your ability to level up and power up and augment your weaponry and take down the enemies quicker. And the game is smart enough to reward you with persistence. I really was surprised. I like this game a lot. It gets an 8 from me.
Okay, it gets a 6.5 for me. Still having nightmares of pizza slicers coming at me? Don't run away arms flailing just yet. Vic and Scott have something very important to discuss with you after the break.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time for the Twitter question of the day, but unfortunately, the Twitter question has been deferred until the next episode. Today, we want to tell you about something really cool.
Yeah, it's actually honoring one of our best Twitter questioners. That we have on the show. His name is Kyle Chenard, Mr._Precision. We're actually trying to help him out a little bit. We're running an auction on our website at epn.tv. It's in our Vic's Basement podcast to help him out because he's been diagnosed with leukemia and he's going through treatment, and we love him. He's a great friend and fan of the show, and he's contributed a lot to previous episodes. We've had a lot to talk about because of his questions.
Everything you donate to these objects, and you got to go to our website, epn.tv, to see what we put on the old auction block, and they're all personal items. Vic has some very cool things in there. One pretty lame thing, but mostly cool things, and you can make your bid. It's a silent auction, and every penny of it will go to Kyle and his family to help them defer some of the costs that they're having to suffer through right now.
Yeah, so go to our website, epn.tv. You can also get caught up on full episodes and a whole lot more right
We're
there.
already working on a new episode tomorrow, and we've got a closer behind-the-scenes look at the Avengers Age of Ultron. See you then.
Thanks for watching.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now.
We covered a lot of ground of establishing who these guys were in the first one, so we were able to really dig down much deeper into who they are when they're relaxed, when they're familiar with each other. That's when people really start to sparkle.
So if I lift it, I then rule Asgard?
Yes, of course.
I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta.